Steel Horse here. Welcome to Griffin, Indiana. We're just with Kevin. He's had a bit of a slower start after the frantic beginnings to the harvest season and all of the contract activity of the last few days. He had a bit of a slower start today. Breakfast on the deck here, just enjoying things, thinking about where stuff is at, and trying to decide what the priority of business is. The first decision he made is we're not going to do any harvest today. There are a couple of contracts kicking around, but he wants to give the equipment a rest, check on all the maintenance, and get it positioned because our soybean crop should be ready for our own harvest next time. He wants to make sure that's all ready to go. You'll see here he got in a bit of a pickle with Jocelyn, who felt that he didn't give Jessica a fair go on the mower, and so consequently when he got back the other night after finishing the harvest, he was sent out to finish at least the area around the house. So at least that's been mowed, and he's got strict instructions to set Jessica up on a patch that she can be more successful at the other end of this home field. So he'll do that in due course. Today we'll get this, in fact we might just run around and do that first, get that headed windroad up. We're just going to throw the grass straight in the silo and ferment it, so there's no real need to get too excited about what we do. So today is very much about catching up on all of the chores around the place. We've got animals to deal with that all need their feed stocked up, get some straw and CMR into the milk cows, and he's been giving some thought to the financial situation, which is kind of interesting, and we'll sort of just walk through that. So you're well aware that in order to buy the harvester and the header, that was added another 750,000 to the loan, so that's taken the loan up to 1,250, which they're paying pretty hefty. I think it's a 9% interest rate. So that shot of all of that, if we have a look, there you go, you can see across the bottom there. So works out at around 9,300 a month, all of their finance costs, and then of course to that, let's call it 90, well, let's call it 10 grand, and then to that they add the cost of labor for contractors and the like that we use to pursue the contracts. So it's 10 grand a month for just the finance costs, which on one level's pretty expensive and a big drag, and means you've got to keep an eye on your bank balance. But another way to look at it is to say, well, if we have a look at the same chart, our milk is now bringing in, we here, milk sales should be on this. Oh, there we go, sold milk. So if we even it out to the month, we're getting about 1,500 to 2,000 a month. Let's call it 2,000 because it keeps the maths easier for milk. So that's only 20% of those finance costs. It's not, it's certainly not covering it. But then we have income from silage. So our silage, we've got sitting at the moment silage in the order of, where are we here? We've got 200,000 litres of silage. Now, that hasn't been too much trouble to create. In fact, we haven't felt the need to spend it. And if we have a look, that 200,000 litres of silage is worth somewhere between $60,000 and $70,000, depending on the time of year that you sell. So you add that to the 20 odd thousand from the milk, and he's getting up towards the 100,000 he needs to cover the interest costs without having to sell, or without taking any account of the arable crop and the livestock that he's been building up. So long and the short of all of that is he's feeling pretty good about the financial position, and pretty confident that in terms of being a going concern. Oh, and the one other item that we didn't take into account there, of course, is the fabric. So our spinnery with its own is largely becoming self-sufficient now with fabric, and with the best price up around $7,000 a 1,000 litres, we only need 4 or 5 pallets of fabric, and all of the costs are covered. And what we're now starting to see is 4 or 5 pallets of fabric is going to be easily done. And if it was possible to get it up to 10 pallets of fabric, of course, that would make a major difference. So the upshot of all of that is that there's enough activities that really don't require a lot of work and focus, and that are peripheral to his main goals, his and Jocelyn's main goals, to cover the operation of the farm. So that means he can feel confident continuing to invest, and reinforces how he feels about his decision to buy the harvester. So as much as he set out to, use the contract structure to cover the interest costs, it's looking increasingly like that's not necessary. It's the opportunity to take advantage of it when it occurs, but there's enough other income sources to cover the interest quite comfortably. Now, that's not suggesting he wants to run out and borrow a whole heap more money, but what it is leading him to conclude is that his goals to be a leader in the district raising his Angus, and to have a significant arable operation. He can continue to extend those. So he particularly, you might remember in the last episode, there was a couple of big cultivating jobs. He really enjoyed his time at the helm of the large John Deere 9, and very easy to see himself needing one of those. So that's obviously going to be a significant investment at some point, and we need to work up to that. But it's not hard to see that there will be a big tractor in Kevin's future. It's just a question of how he gets there. So that's kind of how he's seeing it, and with that in mind, the conversation that he had to have with Jocelyn, she's a little bit more financially conservative, and she was pretty keen, seeing the bank accounts been sitting up at this 150,000 plus for the last couple of months. Well, maybe it's time to pay off a little bit of that loan. But Kevin's viewing it a little bit differently. So what he's thinking, and just sorting out the grass here, just gives him a bit of a chance to ponder it all a little further, is he's thinking that maybe the trick is to continue investing in the cattle. The land around here for farming land is expensive. And ideally, the field he'd like to own is this one just down here with the corn in it. It's the logical big extension for the farm. This is field 19. But it's 800,000. So it's really good land and it's expensive. So it's going to take a little bit of effort to get to the position where he can afford to buy that. But in the meantime, what he's thinking is this field, 49, which just sits beside the twilight field and has a little bit of grassed area, he could purchase that for 158 and run another cow pasture in here and then progressively clear it out a little bit. Not take all the trees off it, just thin it, but he could use it to grow his livestock herds because when they mature, that puts him in the position potentially to sell them. You know, to generate 900,000, he needs 300 head of cattle, basically, at age. So he's halfway there. We'll have a look at that, the state of the animals in a minute. But if the goal is, in sort of simple round terms, is to get to 300 head of cattle, then it'll be just a matter of waiting for them to age. And his approach has been so far to, you know, buy a calf and then let it breed twice. So really 100 head should turn into 300 over the course of time. And he's just trying to accelerate to a slightly bigger point just to get there faster. He just gets a little bit impatient, I guess is the right word. So that's how he's thinking about the cattle operation. We've just about finished rowing this up. Just get that, and we can collect it a bit later on. Let's see if we can get some let's see if we can get our animals fed and watered, and in a literal sense take stock. You can see there he's picked up one trailer load of bales already, and he's been watching the price. So if you have a look here at the price of straw at the moment, we've got a heap of it on the farm. It's sitting down at 61. We just missed a contract to deliver some that would have paid at about 87. So we'll hang on to the straw again. So he's thinking of putting that in the shed. Oh, we've got the tractor here though. We might just blow some hay into these milk cows. So we haven't done that for a little while. Why won't you pick that up? Oh, it's a telehandler, isn't it? What am I doing? That's why you won't pick that up. Let's take our fork off. It's just, which end are you going to blow out of here? we go. We'll blow a little bit of straw in there. And keep it in the shed would be a good idea. Get rid of the last of these square bales. Almost done. Big bales, these big square ones. So if we have a look at the animals now, let's have a look at our milk cows. Our milk cows could do with probably one more lot of straw. What we'll do though is get some loose straw. Out of the field later in the day, but that'll be plenty for the minute. Let's mix up a batch of TMR. We'll just put our straw blower back here out of the way. Just remind ourselves, so there's 5,000 litres there. These are 4.5. We want and you are 24. So we want 2 of the hay bales. If we can get those out of there without too much difficulty. There's one. Let's grab the next lot. Come on, can we just pop you out of there without taking the next one with it? Possibly. A little bit of dancing around. Gets that out of there. If we grab our little tractor, I think you can hop on the front here all right. Let's tip you over there with any luck. Into the bin. Now we will put a hay bale in there, but we'll do that last. Just in case. Oh, actually, we can do it first. It doesn't matter. Because these are only 5,000, aren't they? Yeah. And then we'll just fill it up with silage, and that will make the mix we need. Just got it over the lip. Come on. If I'd tried to balance it on the edge, I wouldn't have had a chance. You can see the mixture coming down with the addition of the straw. Now we'll just top it off with silage. And it should be pretty right. No more hay required. There we go. Lovely mix. Nicely balanced. Do the job perfectly. So that's a convenient recipe for this size trailer and the bale sizes that we're using. And now if we just pop over here, we'll take all of it. Nice fresh mix for the milk cows. But that'll do us, I think, for the milk cow situation. Yeah, pretty much topped off their food. We'll put some more straw in as we've got some picked up a bit later on. But let's have a look at our Angus situation. So in the home pasture, 42 cows, of which two lots are coming up to reproduce in the next 6 months. So they're 18, so that'll fill the pen. And in fact, we'll have to keep an eye on it. So we probably need to be moving some. So these are getting on a little bit in age. We'll wait for them to give birth and then we'll sell them. So that'll be how we create the space in the pen. They'll have their calves. We'll then immediately sell them because they'll be over the 3,000 mark that we're targeting. And then that'll provide the space to allow these to give birth so that we're not spending all our time moving them around. So that the home pasture's in good shape. We just need to top up the food. The cow pasture at the back of the property has got more cows in it. So, and 6 there that we're looking to sell soon. Right, they're already up to 3,000. And they'll reproduce shortly, but this pasture's got only room for them to reproduce. So that's fine. As soon as they give birth, we'll sell down there. And then Woody End, which was the newest one we added, of course, those cows are brand new. So they've still got a little bit of growing. But they could all do with a little bit of hay. That's what we'll take care of first. Let's grab the hay that we've got in the silo, because that's the one we want to empty out before we start working through our bale stocks. And that trailer there, I think, will do nicely. So that gives you a sense. We've got the 3 pastures that are well on their way to becoming fully stocked in the next couple of months. And so that's what's behind his rationale that now is actually the time to add the next pasture or 2 and increase the holding capacity up to that 300 mark. That's kind of his first significant stocking milestone. We're still making silage here. Let's just back up and do the pen that's down here. Always get caught on the fence. Just a little bit awkward beside the trough there. So how did that go? Very close. But what we'll do is just grab the rest of what we've got in here. Rightio. And there we go, close enough to full. So that's that one done. Now the others really need some hay bales. So what we might do is throw a couple in the back of the ute. And we get 2 off the top stack there without upsetting the apple cart. Oh, they didn't stick. Always annoying when that happens. Never mind. With any luck, we'll get 4 in the at least. Close on the back of the ute here. Don't know, we haven't tried this before. How big is that bed when you go and stick a bale on it? You get 4 on there. Not the most elegant way to stack them, but when we're working on the farm, we'll just go with what works. If we just rest you on the side of the tailgate there. You're not gonna. Okay, let's just pop you on the top and strap it. Rightio. Let's run those out. This is a very similar concept to what he's thinking about for that other field. Come on, roll off the back. That's what you want. Knew there was a way to do that. Come on, Kevin. Roll them out. Now he's just popped them out just too far away from the trigger. Okay, that's what bull bars are for. Can we just bump them into the trigger there? There we go. How's this one looking? Pretty close. We could do with another one over here. And woody end, we'll need a couple more. So if we put 4 more on and take them down to woody end, see what they take. But first, let's go ahead and see if we can sort out a new pasture here. So what he's thinking is this is the area. So if we go ahead and buy this field, which we can afford. And then the only thing we need to do is just a little bit of smoothing. We have a look at the animal field that he likes to use, the same sort that we have up at up the other end is this one here. And it doesn't need very much, just a little bit of smoothing on this side of the fence so that we can get to those triggers. So if we take our landscape tool and just make him the next size up and pick probably that height about there. Just flatten out a little along here so that we can put a little roadway in there. So that then when we put our pen down, this one comes with a fence so we don't have to build a separate fence. We can pop you just here. We'll have a tree to move. And there we go. Just a little bit of a tree to cut down at the front here. Oh, didn't take much. And we can paint some dirt just to tidy it up a little bit. Some animal mud. Let's take that one. Just make the... which one? I forget which brush shape is V. There we go. I think we'll access it from a little track on this side. Just like so, with a little bit of more on there. Make it look the part. Dark dirt thrown in. What else have we got there? Dry patchy grass. Just dress it up a little bit, make it look somewhat natural. But there we go. That's pretty much our... We might need a little bit more smoothing down there just to get the... be able to get a vehicle in without too much difficulty. Just flatten you out just a fraction. But that'll do the job just nicely. So we can, when we put some animals in there, we can put some feed in. But in the meantime, let's deliver down to, we can run a couple of bales down so we're ready to go down there. And go down and buy some new cows. Oh, let's try putting it at the feed lot. It will work a lot better. But it won't. Oh, there we go. One job we definitely need to do is some maintenance on the truck, which we'll remember to do straight away because we know we need to put the straw in the shed. Repair the truck for $1,000. We can put the bale trailer in the shed. And then use the prime mover on the water tank. Whilst it hasn't featured in his plans to this point, we're starting to get quite a collection of equipment here, so probably is time to be thinking about when we sell the produce towards the end of the year, how we reconfigure the yard a bit for all the larger equipment that we're now running. Thinking this little barn in front of us kind of moves over where the tree is, and we get a bit of a drive through happening. And then stuck over here, we can do our water in a bit of a circuit. We're at the maximum weight limit of the trailer. We take about 35,000 litres. Pretty heavy. We might take a little bit of a cut across. I don't think we'll dig too deep a furrow in our grass field here. Top you off. So full of water is 24,000. So we're going to put most of this in the new one and then come back and fill up to do the other two. Looking at the fence through here, might pay us to put a gate in the fence at the end there and extend the road through and loop round the back of the cow shed. That's something to think about. Should be able to pull the empty truck up and around from here, but let's bump that. Yep. Get back around there. Let's go and fill up again. While that was filling, Kevin just ducked back over and put another 4 bales on the ute, so we can run down with those in a second. Let's try not to drive over our nicely rode up straw. Most important here is that we don't drive over our almost ripe soybeans. Well, that didn't take much at all. Woody end didn't need much water. Okay. Already see there'll be quite a few trees that can come out of that pasture field we've just bought. We can drop the water tanker just down here. We can empty that one out later on. See you down at Larson's. Just get that onto the trigger there. So let's grab some Angus. How many can we put in? 30 we can't afford. We're just going to have to go with... Exactly. 3,600 who can. We'll buy 12 today. Just take it easy down the hill here. Try not to roll semi with all the cattle in it onto the fence. Make sure the animal trigger is down this end. We'll move those into the husbandry. And this can be... rename this one. This could be Twilight Pasture. Given that the field next door is Twilight Field. There we go. Now if we have a look. Somewhere in here, Twilight Pasture has 12 Angus in it that have a little bit of hay that needs topping up, plenty of water. So they're off and running. And if we jump out, you'll see what I mean. The fencing only comes back to here. We've got plenty of room at the back here for another one. Our block goes... The block we've just bought goes all the way to the edge of the Twilight Field. So potentially even... Now that we look at it, I reckon there's room for 2 more back here. So this might just do us perfectly. We don't need to buy any more of this type of land. We just need to clear a couple of spaces out to put our pastures in, and we will be in really good shape. So let's duck up and I actually might send someone to get the harvester and bring that back. We can park that down near the soybean fields. Let's do a little bit of tidying up of this hay, and that might take us through to the end of the day. That'd be a good day's work just to get the hay off here, and then next time we can set someone to running with the mulcher before these weeds get too high. Because we'll be looking to put our wheat in a little bit of time. A piece of equipment, of course, that's on our list is a bigger baler. Now that we've got the bigger harvester because these swaths are just too big. And we'll get the job done. The other issue we have, it's a small one, but we don't have any storage for loose hay. So potentially another way to solve, given that we do have the forage wagon, is to pick up the is to put some storage in for loose hay. But that can go on the list of unsolved items for now. Gotten through a few chores. We've got a helper going to pick up the harvester for us. So when we get back next time, we should be, all being well, ready to harvest our soybeans and find out how the soybean crop, particularly in the twilight field, compares to the oats and the corn that we've had in there before. But for now, that'll probably do us for today. Kevin's just going to enjoy himself with just a little bit of relaxing up and down work, getting the bales sorted out on this field. So until next time, thanks for watching. Have fun, stay safe. See ya.